right, everybody. Welcome back to MAPOP Sports. This is Grandy. If this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for checking out the video, checking out the channel. You guys are returning. Welcome back, guys. Hopefully everybody had a great weekend. Happy Monday. Happy Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans out there. I truly appreciate you guys more than words can say. My wife works at the VA hospital, so what she sees on a daily basis and things all our veterans go through and everything. So more than, like I said, we can all appreciate and thank you guys from the bottom of our hearts in regards to the sacrifice you guys make for this country and everything. So truly appreciate it, guys. So other than that, like I said, hopefully everybody had a great weekend. I did not. The Bears suck. Iowa Hawkeyes suck. Football sucks for me right now as fans. So there you guys go. At least the Golden State Warriors are my saving grace, and the Iowa women's basketball is my saving grace. That's keeping me afloat in regards to being a sports fan. So there you guys go. Other than that, jump into it. Quick Q&A, quick video hopefully this week. I had some questions off of YouTube, and then also some people just DMing me on my Instagram. Feel free to follow me. Links in the description on that. So, and then if you guys have any questions, feel free to put a comment or anything on any of the videos. I'll try to get to them whenever I see them and just jot them down and answer them. So, question number one, first one, Q&A for this one is PSA to eBay. Will I ever do it? Am I going to do it? The PSA or the Volt system or all that stuff. PSA to eBay or the Volt systems or anything like that, or even like CompC, things like that. The main reason why I don't use them because it doesn't fit to my situation. Other people's situation is different, so if it works for you, great. The reason being is I love to have those slabs, cards in hand, because I also do in-person card shows. I also sell whether on Whatnot. I also sell on different forums, different platforms, okay? So if I send everything straight to eBay or to auction sites or things like that, that means it's gonna be only there. I have no flexibility on that. I like the flexibility of having that card in my hand. I know I paid a little extra for the shipping. I get that, I understand that. But the flexibility of being able to keep some of this inventory, whether I'm going to do it at a card show, whether I'm going to put it on eBay, whether I'm going to put it on Whatnot, things like that, I have that flexibility. I may put it on eBay and then that shit don't sell for, a month. Great, I'm going to take it to the next card show that I do. I don't have to. It's just being flexible with it. So that's the main reason why I have slabs or whatever when I grade it or whatever cards. I'd rather have it in hand just to have that flexibility of inventory. So it works for me in that sense. Will I ever change on down the road? If I, this is the thing. If I ever get big enough, I may do something like that. And the reason being is that I might have a dedicated submission or cards, whatever, dedicated just straight to eBay or just auction sites only. That I grade it, it goes directly to there. But I have to get big enough. My inventory has to be large enough that I can do that I can have such a vast inventory that I don't even care. I don't need that flexibility of having that. So that's where I'm at on that. Maybe on down the road, but if it works for you, great. It's a lot easier. It's cheaper in regards to shipping for sure. I understand, but it just doesn't work for me. I prefer that flexibility. Number two, how much do I need to start up sports card selling as a business or doing this full time? How much should I start with? So as I tell everybody this, in previous videos, it's always relative to you and to your situation. How much do you need? How much do you need to sell, right? Profitability to make this a living and all that stuff. So me personally, my inventory I've collected since I was the age of, in the probably early 80s, all right? So I had a decent amount of collections, built up. I understood it a little bit. I kind of took a break from it collecting, and then back and forth. I was just going in between. The amount that I needed, so this is the thing, was I had a goal of how much I need to make. This is going to lead to my other questions on later on of how much I needed to make on a yearly basis, how much I needed to make on a monthly basis and a daily basis to reach that yearly basis. So I had to understand that how much money, how much capital I need, because I had to start with the low end stuff. So when I was purchasing a lot of lots where cards were probably in the $1 to maybe at best $5 range. I was buying a lot of lots in that range. And hopefully flipping it for $1.50, $2. So I was getting 50 to 100% profit if I can sell those, move those cards, right? Came to realizations I'm going to need more. So it just depends, because now I purchase lots that are more in the mid. So any cards are in maybe the $2-3 to about the $20 to $40, $50 range. I'm purchasing lots in that range a lot more often now. You will need a lot of capital, and like I just said, depending on how much you want to invest into your inventories are going to depend. You can start with $100, $200, $10,000. So it really doesn't matter how much I started with. Like I said, I had enough inventory, and I was in this hobby. I was loving it, that I didn't need an extravagant amount of capital. And plus, on top of that, I didn't have that much. I have a family of 6. Okay, I have 4 children, and my wife and me. I didn't have a huge amount of capital. I did have enough to get started. So it just depends. And like I said, for about the last year and a half, I'm pretty frugal when it comes to living, whether eating out, whether spending it on extravagant gifts, things like that. I try to be as frugal as I can be, because it's sports cards at the end of the day. There's ups and downs, and you just never know. So you want to be as frugal as you can be. Make sure your bills are taken care of, things are paid off. As I mentioned to you guys, that if you don't know, if you're just joining me, I had a lot of things paid off. My cars are all paid off. A lot of my bills were kind of paid off for me to do this. A lot of credit card debt was, I dropped a lot of my credit card debt down as much as I could before I really jumped in to be able to do this. So those are the little things that you got to take into consideration, bills, all that stuff, to see how much capital you need. But it all depends on you and your situation on that. Okay. Somebody also asked grading. Do I still believe in grading the low end stuff, the base cards of rookies, things like that? Right now, as I mentioned, I think I did videos like this before. And when it comes to grading, I always look at the 9s. And the reason I say that is the PSA 9s, what the value is going to be. So if you have a base, let's just say CJ Stroud rookie card right now, he's one of the higher, quarterbacks that you want to look into. If you grade one of his base Prism or something like that, and you get a PSA 9, it may come back way less than what you could buy. It may come back at, let's say, $10 or less, right? The value of that card. Now, you literally spend almost $18 to grade that card, so it makes no sense to grade it if you're only going to come get a 9. If you get a 10, you might be able to sell that card for $25 to $30 at most now, I think, right? Is it worth the risk? Up to you on that. Right now, I feel like, the way the economy is going, the way the industry and the hobby is going, grading low-end stuff and base stuff, the risk to reward factor is not there anymore. If it was like 4 or 5 years ago, yes. Even last year or 2 years ago, I would say even yes. But now, base, anything, low-end stuff to grade, I highly recommend looking at the PSA 9 and the value of it to see if the risk reward is worth it. I currently don't think it is. Will it ever come back? Maybe not, because grading right now, it just all depends. I still see people send in a lot of base under, maybe they get a huge deal on their bulk submission, these bulk submitters, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's a huge risk reward thing. I don't think it's worth it, but especially if you're small time like me. If you're watching this channel, most likely you're not Burbank, or you're not, card collector too. You're not those guys who can probably submit all that stuff and take that risk. If you're small time, I don't think it's worth the risk, so I'll leave it up to you to decide on that. But like I said, I highly recommend doing some research, finding out what the PSA 9, because in my eyes, that would be the lowest bar for you to even see if you want to send these cards in to get graded. So see the value of the PSA 9 on that. How many cards do I sell weekly on a daily basis? I have a goal. I think at the beginning of this thing, I was selling anywhere between about 20, this is just the eBay store alone, right? Anywhere between about 15 to 25, 30 sales on a daily basis. I pretty much have doubled that now. I'm pretty close to that on a daily basis. So I'm anywhere, it just depends on how busy the day is. So anywhere between 30 to 60 orders a day. And then, on a weekly basis, you just multiply that times 7, right? So that's where I want to be on average right now. That's where I am currently. I would like to see that number, hopefully by 2025, double. that was my goal, is that every year I want to double the amount of sales I do. Not necessarily the profit margin, it's going to be there, but if I can double the sales, obviously generate revenue, profit margin will follow in tow, I guess you can say. So there you guys go. That's kind of how much I sell on a daily basis. So anywhere between currently, I would say on average 25 to 50 to 60-ish. It just depends. I feel like the weekends are busier, so it brings up the average, and the weekdays it seems a little bit lower, but it just depends. Depends on the lot that I get to list also. So it just, the kind of inventory that you carry, and then obviously the seasonal thing on that. So that's how much I sell on a daily basis just on eBay. But we'll jump into now Whatnot. How am I doing on Whatnot? So Whatnot, I will tell you this, on each show, I'm doing anywhere between approximately 150 to 250 to 300 sales. Because you're auctioning stuff and you're just turning stuff really fast. I only get a couple hours at best to do a show. So I try to average, if I can, anywhere between 150 to 200 sales on the Whatnot on a 2-hour basis. That's what I'm trying to calculate it at right now. If I can get there, if I can average that on every show, that would be great. How am I doing on Whatnot? It's doing all right. I feel like the weekend show is doing better. Weekday shows has its moments up and down, but I'm doing okay on Whatnot. It is a strain in regards to the preparation, to the shipping, all that stuff. So, like I was mentioning, I think I talked about this in several videos before. I'm doing, on average, probably about a 2 to 3 hour show, mostly around the 2-hour range is what I'm working at. So I'm doing 2-hour shows of the Whatnot. I probably do about an hour and a half to 2 hours of prep time, everything from getting the inventory, all that stuff ready, and then after packaging, shipping, I want to say is another hour and a half to 2 hours. So it's technically 6 to 7 hours in regards to doing a 2-hour Whatnot show. So it takes a lot of time, takes a lot of effort, but it is doing okay. I am going to keep sticking to trying to do 1 to 2 shows a week on that. It's generating revenue. It's just churning some of my inventory that I pick up, and just stuff that could be just sitting on eBay for quite some time if nobody can find it, right? So I'm going to continue doing it. Hopefully it just keeps generating revenue. Hopefully you guys join me. Links in the description. Follow me on Whatnot, same name. Well, actually it's under MAPOP_cards. That's my Whatnot, same thing as my eBay store. The same name, MAPOP_cards on that. So make sure you guys follow me. Most likely I'm trying to do shows Tuesdays and Saturdays. That's where I'm at right now. I might fit one in between, but it's a lot of work, like I said, on top of running the eBay store. So, and then plus doing in-person shows. So it's a lot of work on that. So I'll do what I can, and taking care of the kiddos. So, biggest hurdle when trying to do this full time. I had this question asked a while back. I think I spoke about this too, but then somebody just messaged me on Instagram about that. My biggest hurdle when you're first starting to do this full time and sell sports cards for a living, the biggest hurdle is at the very beginning. Number one is getting a big enough inventory and sales numbers, because you're not going to instantly sell 100 cards instantly that you list 100 cards. You may list 1,000 cards to only sell 5 to 10. I'm just letting people know that up front, because a lot of people think that you're going to list one card and it's going to sell within a week. It's going to sell within a day. It doesn't work that way. It's not that easy, or else everybody would doing it. I've averaged it. I've kind of calculated it out. Depending on the inventory, if it's a hot inventory that people want, obviously you can turn it more. But what I've noticed that if you list about 1,000 cards on average, you might sell anywhere between 5 to 10 of those on a, I would say maybe on a 2 to 3 day basis. Okay, that's just the number. Sometimes those 1,000 cards, sometimes I might be able to sell 20 or 40 or 50 or 100 of those cards, because if it's hot items that people want. But then sometimes I list 1,000, I sell 1. It's just all depends. And on average, like I said, I feel like when you list about 1,000, I get about 5 to 10 sales on a 3-day basis of that. So there you guys go on that. That's the biggest hurdle, because at the beginning, you're trying to do this full time. If you don't have second income or other revenues on the side, it's going to be very difficult to make sales instantly. So like I said, the biggest hurdle is probably that first 5 to 6 month period before you seriously generate sales on a daily, consistent basis. So that's the biggest hurdle, is make sure you have enough capital, enough stuff saved up, or I guess you can say even a crutch to help you through the tough times at the very, very, very beginning. So that's the biggest hurdle. Other than that, last question, do I do consignments? Hell no. I already have a hard enough freaking time selling my own shit. I don't need to sell other people's stuff. So there you guys go. No consignments. And will I do it anytime soon? Probably not. Like I just said, I have a hard enough time selling my stuff, let alone trying to sell other people's stuff. So, but other than that, man, hopefully if you guys got anything from this video, I appreciate it. If you guys like this stuff, feel free to subscribe. If you have not subscribed, like I always say, I still appreciate you guys checking out the channel, watching this video. Don't forget eBay, whatnot, links on the description. Make sure you guys follow if you guys like that. And then other than that, man, hope my Bears fired the damn head coach. Eberflus sucks. Hawkeyes, Ferentz needs to retire. I'm just over it with football. It is what it is. But hey, at least the Warriors are playing good. So there you guys go. And other than that, man, until next time, have a good rest of the week, guys.